Kam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yatkrupatamahamam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So Hare Krishna, very good morning to all and Dandavat Pranam to all. So today we will, one moment. So today we will continue with our Sharanagati topic. So yesterday we have discussed about how Anukulyasya Sankalpam and Pratikulyasya Varjanam. In that we have discussed about how we are having the thought levels of instincts and impulses and conscious intelligence. And then we spoke about the three circles, that is Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidevika. So even after talking all, still there will be, in this life, especially in the material world and that too in the Kali Yuga, there will be things which will be like very much gray. Like in this world, it is very difficult to make black as black and white as white. So there will be so many gray areas. So what is really favorable, what is not favorable, and how the things which we may think are favorable may convert into something unfavorable. Or apart from that, this favorable and unfavorable things, in between there can be some neutral things which we will feel like, okay, so what about those things? So they are not devotional things, and at the same time they are not anti-devotional things also. So what to do about them and how to take them? And if we are not careful in this world, then just like how all the devotees are the agents of Krishna to make us Krishna conscious, like that, Maya Devi also has so many agents in this world. And they don't appear as anti-devotional initially. So in the gross level, there are some activities which may look like anti-devotional, so we can easily try to avoid them. But some of the activities which we are not clear whether it is devotional or it is anti-devotional, should I pick it up or should I not? So what happens is, in this, sometimes some of the things will be not mentioned in the scriptures also, because as we are evolving, the technology is evolving. So many things, maybe just like, the Shravanam topic is there. So Shravanam online will also give the purity, or it is only offline? So if this kind of question comes, then we cannot find it in the Shastras where it says like, online classes are also purifying. So there are so many things which we may not find directly in the Shastras. So there may be mentioned as a context, but it may not be so literally written. So for that, what we have to do? We have to actually ask the senior Vaishnavas who are being traveling on this path, and we have to take guidance from them. So we'll try to see the three different activities today, and we will try to take some examples in that. So in general, there are three kinds of activities: devotional activities and anti-devotional activities, and there are non-devotional activities. So what is the difference? We will see. So when we talk about devotional activities, these are directly related to Krishna. Just like we are chanting, just like we are hearing, or we are taking a class, or we are going to for an yatra, we are taking the darshan of the deities. So all of this are direct devotional activities. So here it is very clear, okay, it is devotional. If you are going to temple to serve, if you are in a Rath Yatra, or if you are in some festival doing some service, then it is like directly devotional service, okay. And there are some anti-devotional activities which are like, whatever the Shastras will tell us to avoid. So these are also called as vikarmas, okay. So just like meat eating, okay, and then gambling, and having illicit sex, and having any kind of intoxication. So all of these things are offending the Vaishnavas, or creating any kind of hurt to the other living beings. So all of this are like, very grossly differentiated, that these are anti-devotional activities. So when we do devotional activities, our purification will happen. And when we do anti-devotional activities, then our impurities will grow more and more. So it is like feast for our impurities. Okay. So when we do devotional activities, it will give us the purification. And when we do the anti-devotional activities, anti-devotional activities, it will actually add up to our impurities. So our impurities are this much. When we keep on doing the anti-devotional activities, our impurities will grow more and more. Then what will happen? It will take more time for the purification. Just like if we are washing a cloth, if it is very much dirty, okay, then it will take longer time to cleanse, isn't it? So similarly, the more anti-devotional activities we do, right? We've been doing many anti-devotional activities from many lifetimes. So that is the reason the purification process takes a lot of time. So when we come into the bhakti, we should try and identify what all anti-devotional activities are there, and we should try to avoid them so that the purification time that which takes for us will reduce. Otherwise, what will happen now? The Acharya says sense gratification and devotional service go ill together, right? Why? Because we are trying to purify for some time, and again we are doing the activities which are increasing our impurity. So what will happen? It will get neutralized. So it's just like someone has diabetes and he takes the medicines for the diabetes, but at the same time he eats the sweets. Then what will happen? He will not be able to maintain or reduce his diabetes. So similarly, when we do devotional activities, we have to avoid anti-devotional activities so that our purification will happen quickly, and we need not wait for many lifetimes to go back, come back to Godhead. So this is almost clear, like, okay, what is devotional and what is anti-devotional. Now there are many activities which comes under non-devotional activities. Now non-devotional means they are not directly against the devotional service, and at the same time they are not directly devotional activities also. Just like we all are working people, right? So some of us go to the office, they work in software. Some of us go to some factories and they work over there. And some people, while they are going to the office or coming back from the office, they are traveling, and the bathing, cooking, so many of the daily chores what we do. So all of these can be considered as non-devotional activities. And one more thing is, let us say one example is watching TV or watching a cricket match. So this can also be called as a neutral activity, okay, because it is not directly anti-devotional and it is not devotional also. Now what we should do about it? Okay, so sometimes the question may come, okay, I'm working on my job, or I'm watching TV, or I'm just cooking or taking bath. So all of these activities are actually neutral. They are not directly telling me that, they are not directly reminding me about Krishna, or they are not directly offending Krishna also. So what I should do about them? So in this material world, anything that cannot be utilized in the service of Krishna has the potency to make us material, to make us impure. For suppose if we have our job, okay, our job is not directly anti-devotional, but in our job, if we get more and more busy, so many working hours we go and so much of hard work we do, that we do not have time for any spiritual activity, then what will happen? Our own job will become detrimental to our devotional service, so that can become anti-devotional. So similarly, let us say if we talk about watching a cricket match. So watching a cricket match may not be directly anti-devotional activity, but the way we watch the cricket, okay, so that time, only cricket will not happen. There is a lot of passionate things will happen, okay. And during the cricket match, there will be a lot of advertisements also. So our sense gratification attitude is not yet curbed completely. We still have the hankering for the sense objects. So when we watch advertisements over there, or when we watch someone getting rewarded in the cricket, or when we see that someone getting abused in the cricket, or someone like, in a sports there will be very much of passion also, right? There will be a lot of glory also. So all of these things can actually induce so many different desires for us, right? So similarly, when we watch a TV also, so there will be so many TV commercials, and there will be so many conversations will be going on in the TV. So all of these can agitate our mind, okay. So when the TV was not so much popular in India, so that time all the other countries, they were actually buying the TV, but India was not a biggest customer for the television. So that time what happened? what they told is, we have to make all these Indians habituated to the TV program. So that is something which they thought about. And how can we make them? If we directly give them something which we want them to see, then they may not see. So what we will do, we will start something which they like. So they started using this concepts of Ramayana and Mahabharata, and they made serials on that. And later they got so much liked by these programs that those same actors who were acted in the Ramayana and Mahabharata, they started making different movies also, some message oriented movie. So initially they presented what they thought like we need it, just like Rama and Mahabharata, we are interested Indians, so we'll do it. And the actors, we start liking it, so they will start making some message oriented movies. And later on, what will happen? Now in the today's world, if we see the movies, then most of the movies doesn't give any message that we need, but they just give a message what the director want to give or what the producer want to give. So they have made it so commercial and so entertaining that we get so much caught into them that we will start getting many material desires. So what is happening is, in general, watching a TV or watching a sports is not so anti-devotional, but it has huge potency to make it as a anti-devotional activities. Because if we are so much absorbed in the cricket, if you are so much absorbed in some other game, if you are so much absorbed in watching TV or some serial, and that what is happening in that serial will actually consume lot of our consciousness so much that we have very less consciousness left to be Krishna conscious. Like we see, some of the people, they discuss about the different episodes of TV serials so much, right? As if that is happening very much real. She should have not done with her daughter-in-law like that. Oh, he should have not done like that. So many things they will discuss throughout the day. So much involvement they will have in the TV serials and sports and all. So they follow the players, they follow the actors and all. So all of this, what they are doing, initially they started as neutral, but slowly they are taking us away from Krishna. So similarly, our jobs and our all other activities, they are needed, okay, and they are neutral, but they can also become Krishna conscious if we start trying to induce Krishna consciousness into that. For example, if we are going to the job and we have to travel, so during the travel we can actually hear about some lectures, or we can put Prabhupada chanting, and we can just, in general, when we drive, we listen to some songs or something else. So what we can do, we can actually pick up some devotional stuff over there, so we can put on the lectures or we can put on some kirtans like that, and we can go and drive. And similarly, while we are in the job, so during the job, exact job what we are doing, let us say if we are in software, we might be coding something, or we might be checking things, or if we are in a factory, we might be doing some analysis over there. So during the time of work, we may or may not be able to remember Krishna, but before we start our work and after we end our work, we can remember Krishna. Before we start our work, we can pray to Krishna that give me the strength and intelligence to get my job done nicely. And we can thank Krishna after getting the job done. Like, Krishna, thank you for giving me everything that is required to get this job done well. Right. So, like that, we can remember Krishna. While cooking, also, we can remember Krishna by listening to some kirtan or classes. Okay. While bathing, also, we can actually sing some kirtan. Right. So, like this, all our neutral activities can also convert into devotional activities, and we can stop. Like, let us say if we have a habit of watching something on the TV, okay, or watching something on the YouTube, then we have to replace those with something which is related to Krishna, right? So like that we can convert our activities, and rather than watching some sports or something which however not going to help us, we have to replace, because the need for the entertainment is there in our consciousness. Okay, in the spiritual world also there is a lot of entertainment, there are a lot of sports and all, but they are all Krishna centered. But what we see over here are not Krishna centered. So what we have to do, we have to check, okay, I have this tendency to do something like this, can it be replaced with any Krishna conscious activity? So like that we can take suggestions from the acharyas and from the shastras and from the senior Vaishnavas. So like that what will happen is, our ability to choose anukulyasya sankalpam and pratikulyasya varjanam will actually increase. Okay, so there are so much of gray area in our life where we cannot be able to decide immediately that what is actually favorable and what is not favorable. So during that time, what we have to do, we have to take suggestions and guidance from the senior Vaishnavas that this is the there, because we have come from a different background, so we have so many other habits. So how I can replace with this? Okay, just like when Prabhupada was watching a Charlie Chaplin show on an airport, and he was enjoying that show, and all of his disciples thought, Prabhupada, you're watching a Charlie Chaplin movie. Shall I make them to switch off this TV? Or is it okay that we can watch movies or watch this comedy shows like this? So Prabhupada said, you are watching Charlie Chaplin, but I'm actually watching Krishna. Like Krishna has given him the ability to perform like that. So Prabhupada is at so much consciousness that, he can actually see Krishna in everything, but we are not up to that consciousness. So that is the reason we have to ask, okay, whether this habit is going to help me in Krishna consciousness, or whether this activity will actually make me go down. So like that, we have to take guidance, and we have to have more clarity on what to choose and what not to choose. So it is not that, just because we are hearing it or talking it, it will happen immediately. But these things we have to be aware that, okay, in this journey there will be so many things which I'll not be able to make clear whether this will help me or not. So during that time, I have to be open for the suggestions. So like this, what will happen? Our choices will improve, and our many of the neutral activities or non-devotional activities can convert into devotional activities. The more we convert our neutral or non-devotional activities into devotional activities, the more we will actually get purified. So our struggle in the material world will actually reduce. Okay, because if we are doing everything that is in connection with Krishna, then definitely Krishna will be with us. We need not fight alone. So like that, we can think about it. So I just spoke about three activities, that is devotional activities, anti-devotional activities, and non-devotional activities. So why we are speaking on this? Because there is a lot of gray area in this world. Sometimes we will not be able to make out which is favorable, which is not favorable. So some activities are neutral, some are non-devotional, so they are not directly devotional, not directly anti-devotional. So we have taken the examples of watching sports or watching TV, or our office work or cooking or bathing, all these activities which are not directly related to devotional or anti-devotional. So what we do, we take more suggestions of it, because those activities has the potency, because anything that is not utilized in the service of Krishna has the potency that they can make us more and more material, more and more impure. So if we are trying to convert them into devotional activities, then those same things will actually help us to grow more in Krishna consciousness. One more example also we can say, like, singing can be a neutral activity, but singing mundane songs or some material songs where there is no Krishna consciousness, or where we are not able to think about Krishna, can actually drag us somewhere else. So if we have the tendency to sing, we can actually sing kirtans for Krishna, right? We can sing verses for Krishna. So like that, some neutral activities are there, some activities are there which are we are habituated. How we can convert them into Krishna consciousness? This thing, if we start doing it, start implementing it, then over a period of time, our journey will be more of less of the struggle and more of Krishna consciousness.